1966, when I was born, bread was 15 cents a loaf. So it didn't start going up that much. But then it got to 1976 and it was 29 cents, almost doubled.
It's like inflation. This is the thing people don't understand about inflation, right? They always say inflation is going down, but inflation really doesn't go down, right? It just doesn't go up as fast as it did before. Let me tell you, when you go from 15% to 14%, you're not going downhill. You're still going uphill the whole time. And that's like how inflation works. And that's like your point proves this book, right? They just, when things get inflated, boy, they're still going up like crazy, like absolutely insane crazy. Welcome to the Ideas by Mike podcast, where your one-of-a-kind life meets a one-of-a-kind financial plan. Every episode, we provide insights into financial markets, discuss strategies for navigating Wall Street, and explore how to make informed decisions in a constantly evolving financial landscape, all with the goal of helping you. So sit back, relax. This is not your typical money show. We're going to be all in on helping you live a one-of-a-kind life. Well, hey guys, welcome back to the Ideas by Mike podcast. This is your host, Mike Milligan. Today we've got very special guests where we've got like a tag team duo here. Coach Pete and Gary Nolan join us. You obviously know who Gary Nolan is. He's the consumer advocate on the One of a Kind financial show that comes out every week with me. You also hear him on the One of a Kind Financial Show daily podcast, where he and I are often talking about just little segments. But we're also introducing Coach Pete to you today. He's coming to us from his studio down in Apex. Guys, you just co-authored a book called Through the Years, right? Through the Years is this journey. Look at it. Coach Pete's holding it up for your YouTube followers right now. It's a journey. There's Gary, and I will have mine here shortly in the mail. But you guys co-authored this to be able to give a glimpse of what happened. So first of all, how did this come about? Gary, do you want to start and tell us how this whole project came about?
Yeah, sure. It started out as little audio vignettes that used during Coach's show. They were like 2.5 minute vignettes, and we just selected a year that we wanted to focus on, and we talked about things that happened that year of importance. We talked about financial information as well. What was the mortgage rate? What were the interest rates? But we talked about the popular cars that year, the cost of bread, the cost of many different things, and we started to put it together. And then we kept a spreadsheet as well. So once the spreadsheet got filled up with, what were the popular movies that year or the popular TV shows, who were the famous people that were born that year, we decided to put it all together, and Coach's idea to put it into a book.
So Coach Pete, when you wanted to put this book into play, right?
Right.
This is not your first book by any rodeo. I think this is your 20th book, if I'm not mistaken.
It's number 20. Yep.
Number
It sure
20.
is.
Magic number 20. Hey, by the way, that was my baseball number, right? When I played baseball back in the day, number 20. That's amazing. So number 20, right? But you started, the first year in this is 1909. Why in the heck did you pick 1909 as the starting point?
I think that was the year the Lincoln penny changed. It changed to Lincoln penny. It was the Indian head penny, and I think I was a coin collector growing up, and I think 1909 was the first Lincoln penny. I don't know why we selected 1909. I was just trying to come up with nothing really changed that much between 18 somethings and 1909, because then the car started appearing on the scene. It was horse and buggy before then. It got a lot more interesting.
Because logically, I'm thinking maybe you start in like 1929 during the Great Depression. Maybe you start maybe like at the end of World War I, or no, you just 1909, and there you go.
Just picked it's almost like throwing a dart at a dartboard there, and sort of like I just opened the book like randomly, and I came up to 1970 now. And what we were doing, Thomas, my radio production supervisor, he's in charge of all the radio shows, and I was thrown an idea by him one time.
Yes, sir.
I said, we do a brokers behaving badly. We do a celebrity mistakes. We do celebrity success stories, or just success stories in general. I said, let's start talking about what happened back in the past, because we forget how quickly years disappear. I mean, we were talking that same day about how the 1995 was about 30 years away, and it doesn't seem like 30 years away. So we just wanted to have a barometer so you can look at today's data and compare it down the road into the past about what was really happening. So like what was the Dow at in 1970? Well, the Dow was at 839, because we have a data sheet that starts every chapter. Then we have the famous actors that died and actresses that movies and Cost of living bread was $19 a loaf in 1970. Well, those are the good old days. It probably was a lot better bread too these days.
So let's do one. Go to 1957. Look
Okay.
at 1957, Pete.
Here we go.
And
Here we go.
and on the top of that should say the year Gary Nolan was born, but it
that's
doesn't say
Gary's
that.
year.
Yeah. But what happened that year?
Well, the Chevrolet Bel Air was invented. The car that was the car of the year. The Chevrolet 150 210 Bel Air was the car of the year. The cost of living, the price of a home was $8,500. The average car was $3,600. And Oreo cookies, 11.75 ounce package was 33 cents. You know, you can't even get a little bite-sized one, two Oreos these days.
No way.
But then the Dow was at 436. So, you know, and now the Dow's like 40-some thousand. So it's crazy how if we don't write something down, we'll forget it. We won't appreciate it, and we won't really appreciate the value of what's happening now. Inflation was 2.9 back then. That's about the standard inflation we've seen over the years. We've had some blips, ups and downs from there. Who was born? Spike Lee was born that year with
Holy
Gary.
cow.
And Sid Vicious, you know who Sid Vicious from the Sex Pistols was born.
That's right. Absolutely.
And a
Good
dollar back
company.
then was worth $11.20 today. See, there you go. That's 11x.
Inflation.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's
isn't it?
right.
That's how. So it's one thing to say inflation was 2.9, but we hear these percentages, but until we translate it into what it really means to us in our buying power, we don't really appreciate inflation. That's now we really should. We've been talking about inflation on my show for years, and the Boston Celtics won the world championship that year. I had to put that in because I'm a Celtic fan.
That's a good. That's
But it was just a lot of fun to go back and pass because I wasn't born then. And, you know, if you're not born then, you really don't pay much attention. You probably studied it in history books. But now you have a history book right here, folks. And we even have a soundtrack where we built for this. Every decade has its own song that we have written and produced. And
you guys wrote the songs?
Thomas is very talented, my producer. So Thomas wrote the songs. Here we go.
Here's
Thomas
one now.
He didn't guess a decade.
1970s.
The Dow sank low, 570.
Holy cow, that is amazing. You guys have your own soundtrack. Is that on Spotify or are we getting like
all over the
8 tracks
place
of that?
Is Thomas, is your mic hot?
Yeah, I'm hot. Yeah.
All right, so Thomas, join the conversation, Thomas.
Yes.
There you go. Thomas Lipscomb, folks.
Hey, guys. So I had a great time writing this, really being spurred off of everything that Gary and Coach had put together. But we have our CDs coming in right now. We're going to get this mic, we're going to have LPs coming in. You mentioned 8 tracks. We don't have 8 tracks, but we got LPs coming in.
But for the modern day.
But for the modern day, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're on there. iTunes, yes, all of them.
Holy freaking cow, guys.
Yep. And how can they find that, Thomas? Tell folks how they can find it.
It's easy. Just Through the Years Coach Pete. Search Through the Years Coach Pete, and it'll come right up. It's got a big, beautiful pink, purple, yellow cover. You can't miss it.
So is there a website for that, or are we just finding that on Amazon?
Well, we should have a website.
Yes, we should, but we are in such an infancy right now. Like
there will be shortly.
There will be shortly. We're still getting the CDs and LPs in. All this is fresh. You're on the cutting edge right here with us.
I love this. Well, we're on the cutting edge, but by the time this actually comes out, you know, when it comes out, we'll put the link on there. Gary, this is the interesting part about this. You hear Coach Pete say 1957 and it, you know, $11 and $1 today and what bread was and all that. How's that make you feel about your life now?
Old.
I don't think that's the point of it, right? I don't think the point of this is to make anybody feel old. It's just to put some reality to the situation.
It gives you some perspective. It really does about how things have changed over the years. You know, it's just amazing. I thumb through the book and I go through the 50s and 60s and go into the 70s. And you were born in what, 77? Is that what you said?
76.
Oh, 76. So we could look up 1976 and see what happened that year with you and see what.
That was 1,005, the Dow. So you were over 1,000. Inflation was 4.9, though. We were getting up there the Jimmy Carter years. You remember
that's
those?
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Rocky was the movie of the year right there. Rocky came out in 1976.
What was the car, Gary?
What was the car that year?
Oldsmobile Cutlass.
The Oldsmobile Cutlass. I had one of those.
Did you?
The Cutlass Supreme. Yes, exactly.
Amazing. Yeah. That's absolutely freaking amazing.
And
So
Ryan Reynolds was born the same year you were. Ryan Reynolds from Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile.
Yeah,
Oh,
Reese,
yeah.
Reese Witherspoon was born that year too.
Yeah, Legally
And
Blonde.
the big song was Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. That was
Oh,
a
yeah.
huge song.
It's
Yeah.
still playing right now.
Oh
Seems
yeah,
like
it's still
your
playing
show,
on
yeah.
classic rock stations all over the country.
Yeah, still, yeah. I mean, we could have started that song at the beginning of this podcast. This podcast may be done by the time that song's done. It's so
Exactly.
freaking long.
Hey,
Yeah,
bread was 29 cents a loaf, and it's starting to go up then because back when Gary was there, it was a lot cheaper for a loaf of bread. It was 14 cents, so it's doubled in that time. 1966, when I was born, bread was 15 cents a loaf, so it didn't start going up that much. But then it got to 1976, and it was 29 cents, almost doubled in 10 years of the price of bread. So
what we got to remember, I was born after the oil embargoes, the oil
Yep.
crisis,
there you
right?
go.
And
That's
so
what
like
happened.
it's like inflation. This is the thing people don't understand about inflation, right? They always say inflation is going down, but inflation really doesn't go down, right? It just doesn't go up as fast as it did before. I've got this. I go to this gym called Orange Theory. Orange Theory does this workout called Everest. We're on the treadmill for 25 minutes. The first 12 minutes, you go up 1% incline, right?
Wow.
And then the last 12 minutes, you come down. And the coaches will always say there, hey, we're going down the hill now. But guys, let me tell you, when you go from 15% to 14%, you're not going downhill. You're still going uphill the whole time. And that's like how inflation works. And that's like your point proves this book, right? They
Yeah.
just, when things get inflated, boy, they're still going up like crazy, like absolutely insane crazy.
Yes, and the only way to stop it is to make sure you have money that's growing equal to or greater than what the inflation's growing at. And
How in the
so,
world do people do that, Coach?
Well,
I don't have.
it's about-
I don't know.
you got to do tax planning too. Well, so you got to minimize the amount of money you're giving Uncle Sam, or take advantage of tax sheltering strategies, and then at the same time save some money. And I know it's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you're not saving, and if you're paying full tax and not trying any of the strategies, then you're basically waving that the white flag of surrender, because you're not going to win that battle. So again, it was a fun project. We did it to entertain folks on our radio show, and then I said, "Gosh, we should just turn this into a book." And so here it is. And then Thomas and I were meeting one day and said, "Let's make a soundtrack."
Okay, so
there we
let's
are.
let's play out, because in the book it stops at 2024, right? Let's play out 2025 on here, right? I mean, we don't know yet what the Dow's going to finish at, right?
Right.
But so we don't finish that one. But like, what is the car of 2025?
I don't
What
even know
would
what
be
new
the car
cars
of
are out.
24?
What are cars out? I mean, any new cars that I've heard about?
I'm not
I haven't
sure.
heard of a new
Yeah.
car this year. Has anybody,
haven't heard
Thomas, you heard of a
anything.
new car?
I haven't. No.
You know what I'd love? I'd love a brand new, like the new version of an El Camino. I used to always want an El Camino, the little station wagon. Well, I mean, the pickup truck with
Right.
like a station wagon kind of size.
Yeah.
And they were talking about coming out with a new El Camino. I don't know if they ever did or not, but I haven't heard anything. Of new
Why would you
cars.
want one of those again?
I just thought it was cool back. I couldn't because I couldn't have one back
Yeah.
in the day.
There you go.
I want it now. I'll buy boxes of popsicles and eat them all in one day if I want, because I was basically back in the day I could only have one because I had two brothers we had to share and stuff. So I used to kill some pudding pops back in the day before they stopped making them.
Pudding pops.
I used
So
to love
obviously-
old
so-
pudding
so-
pops.
So obviously, people born today, we're not going to know if they're famous or not for a lot of years, right?
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
what are the other categories in there that you guys have in the book?
Well, price of bread,
Yeah,
that's way
what-
up. Even Walmart bread's about $2 a loaf now.
Mhm.
Yep.
Walmart
Coach
bread.
P, do you even know what the cost of a loaf of bread is?
Well, see, I shop for bread because my wife gets this kind of bread that I don't like, the no carb
Oh.
stuff, and it's nasty. I like the real good. I like the traditional bread. So yeah, I get, my own
get
bread.
that. We
Make
get that.
sandwiches
We
in the
get
office.
in Puerto Rico, a loaf of bread's like $9.50.
Whoa,
You're kidding.
Whoa.
it better
No.
be good.
I mean, it's like that Nature's Own whole wheat stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's $9.50. I mean, you really want to talk about inflation? You guys come see me down in Puerto Rico.
Do they not have any
crazy.
way to have their own flour? Because bread is basically flour, milk, and yeast.
They do,
Salt,
but they don't have like the Wonder Bread that we can get like off
Wow.
the shelves in the factories.
It'd be cheaper
like
to make your own bread there, man. How much is a 5-pound bag of
It-
flour? Pretty reasonable.
100%. It's cheaper
Get
to
a
make
bread
your own
maker.
bread.
I have one of those bread making machines. It's in the closet now,
Hey.
buried behind things. But when you get it, you use it like
You've-
20 times, and you can make
Uh,
really good loaves of bread. At the beginning, it was like a skyscraper loaf, and it didn't look like a bread loaf. Now they're making them where it traditionally makes a traditional kind of loaf looking bread. So I'm
Coach
not
Pete, you've met
advertising
my
for bread
wife.
maker.
Coach
Yes,
Pete,
I
you
have.
met my wife.
I
Do you
have.
think she's making bread at home?
Well, she doesn't have to. All you do is throw the ingredients in, press the button, and there's the bread. It just
You
comes
can do
out.
it,
It's
Mike.
magic. It's awesome. I
That's
got
a
fat
good
when I had the
You
bread
can do
maker.
it.
I had to hide it in
I'm,
the back of the closet, or I was going to gain more weight.
I'm getting in trouble for that one.
Oh man,
Exactly.
Hey, you know what I use what I used to use the bread maker for a lot is to make the dough, because I don't like to knead the dough. You know, keep rolling it over your hands and doing a lot of things for about a half
Yeah.
hour. But it's got its own kneading cycle. So I used to make my famous imitation Cinnabuns
Ooh.
at Christmas Eve, and I would use the bread maker. I wouldn't tell the family. Like the extended family were all proud of me. They thought I was up all night with my little chef's hat on, pounding away with pounding that dough. No, the machine would do that. I would just roll it out, put the cinnamon and sugar and butter, and roll it up, and then cut them and put them on the cookie sheet. And I made Cinnabuns that way. So,
Wow. The things you
The
learn about
original.
Coach Pete. I had no
Yeah.
idea, Coach.
Coach likes to find the legitimate shortcuts. And the legitimate shortcut to retirement, Mike, is to have some of the money that you've got devoted to retirement, peel it away from the market and put it in a place where you have that lifetime income account. My book number 21 I'm writing right now is The Glide Path to Retirement. You want
The
to
glide path.
in. Want to glide in, like on Happy Gilmore. It's all in the hips. Happy is all in the glide here. So we got to glide into retirement. That's what we do. We'll show you how to glide into retirement on your own.
I did not have Happy Gilmore on this podcast bingo
Is
card.
that a bingo
today.
card?
I did not have that on the card, and I did not have Glide Path. Right, I didn't have that one on here.
Well, you know why I
can't-
thought of, well, wait just a minute before you finish your thought. The reason
Yeah.
why I said Happy Gilmore is 1966. I got the book turned to 1966. It's got famous people born. Adam Sandler was there, so I started thinking about it. He was on my mind. See, that's how I developed the Happy
cow.
Gilmore thought.
Look at that.
Yeah.
How are people going to use this book? Like, I mean, practically, right? Go out and buy it on Amazon. How are they going to use this book?
It's a fun book, man. It's really, I mean, I've had a lot of fun going through it. Gary did a lot of good research on that. And so every single chapter of every single year starts with an info page that has the same information on it from year to year. So you can compare it easily, what the Dow was, the loaf of bread, cars, that kind of thing. So now it's inflation, how much a dollar is worth today. It's good to have it all in one place instead of having to thumb through the chapter and try to find the information. It's all on an info sheet. So we made it like, I like those info sheets online. The infographics are called, and this is like an infographic to start each chapter. And each decade is in different font that is in colors that are famous for that decade. Like the 70s
Holy
look like
cow.
the 70s, and the 60s, and all that, because you'll just have to see it to believe it. You got yours on the way, Mike. You'll get that in a couple days. But folks, it is a really good book, and then the soundtrack is free. You just go, Thomas, tell folks how they can listen to it again.
It's very easy over on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, you name it. Just search for Through the Years, Coach Pete.
And we're going to put an audiobook together, and it'll feature mostly Gary's voice.
I love
Use
that.
his audio segments already and put them together in chronological order for you guys.
That's right.
So,
Thomas is probably already working on that.
so what you're saying is every doctor's office in America needs a couple of these books.
I would
Every
say-
accountant's office
Oh,
needs
yeah.
one of these.
You know, we kill a lot of time with these things, these phones. But what if we could have something to really learn with? And this is really good. It's a really good reference manual. Plus, it's entertaining. It's not just an info sheet. It's a couple of pages in each chapter telling you about famous things that happen, famous events, bad and good, that happened that year. So it really is a reference manual without having to. I think it's easier than Google. You got it right here.
Wow. Wow. Going old school, bringing
Yes.
paper back. That's what
right.
Coach Pete's doing.
Well, I was a
for
paper
us.
boy, so I've always liked to deliver paper. Here's my newest delivery right here.
Yeah,
see?
exactly.
Yeah, delivered to Warburg
Gary.
Exchange with
Gary, did you know he was a paper boy?
Yeah, I've heard that before, and Coach
You
told
have.
me about that. So I did know that about Coach Pete today. I did learn about the bread making thing. I didn't know about that, but that
We're
So we
doing my
talk- we-
autobiography. So Thomas, remind me to talk about the bread maker when we film our next segment in my autobiography.
On
I
it.
love that.
The bread
Guys,
making
we
years.
always talk about being one of a kind around here, right? Being one of a kind. And there's no doubt, right, that this book is one of a kind. It is unique, right? There's nothing else out there like on the market here, but like it's all about just to get the conversation started about
is.
finances, right?
It is.
About life and about legacy. When you guys read this book, just imagine the legacy conversations that could be had on this, right? You know, the conversations, mom or dad, you're old, grandma or grandpa, I can't believe you lived through this. But like, how does this book help people financially? Like, what's the point of that?
Well, you see how things get more and more expensive every single year. I mean, or every single decade at least. And so it should help you know that just because you think everything's fine doesn't mean you might be fine. And it is important to have income in retirement every single year so you can do a lot of the fun things we talk about here in the book. So if you If you don't have income, you can't go see the new famous actress or famous movie or buy the new car. So we want to make sure buy a loaf of bread even. If you go to there's a store called Whole Paycheck around here, it costs a whole paycheck to go in there. So you have to have money. If you want to shop at Whole Paycheck, you have to have enough money to go into Whole Paycheck. So just make sure you have money that you don't have to ask permission for, and you don't feel bad spending. Because if you spend money, if you have a real plan put together, a real total retirement plan, you get to retirement, you spend money now, you never feel bad because you know a new check is coming next year for you. So you never
Yeah.
run out of money. It's always perpetually refilling itself. Sort of like that bird. I don't know if you ever saw that little bird thing. It had a glass of water, and if you got it started, it was nose would go in the water and sling back and keep going in the water. If you took the water away, the bird would stop. The water never disappears. You never run out of your income, water, or retirement. The bird's always moving around. And so you can move around all over the world if you have the right retirement plan instead of sitting at home watching the Beverly Hillbillies all day long because you can't afford to go out of the house.
You never run out of analogies or stories or ways to compare things, do you?
Well, I mean, it free flows in my mind, but I mean, it really makes sense. The financial world's a complex place, as you know, Mike. So we try to
Yeah.
just dumb it down, and that's not a bad thing. We try to make it easy to understand because it's not that complex. And a lot of times, the financial world is made complex by people that are trying to get you confused so you stay where you are or
Well,
do
that's
something you
the
shouldn't do.
well that's the interesting part about like our industry, right? Is our industry is all about keeping people financially illiterate.
Yep.
And right, if you don't know about simple risk out there like inflation and market and taxes and longevity and mortality, right? If you don't know those risks, right, it's because your advisor just says you're on the right track or we
Yep.
got you. And what they really got is they got you as a lifetime client to do the things they want in their life and charge the fees they want to. They don't have you from a standpoint of your hopes and your dreams in mind. They're just talking about themselves when they do that. And I
Yeah.
mean, that's what we talk about.
Yeah, and I'm sure you do the same thing we do. We become your financial gardener almost. We keep weeding the garden out, making sure that there's no bad weeds eating away all the nutrients here and letting your crops survive and thrive and get the biggest tomatoes ever because they're not competing with all the other junk there, the financial termites, we call them. Risk, fees, commissions that are built in your plan. You might not even see them, just like termites in the house. So, as a financial gardener, if you ever had a garden, Mike, I had a garden growing up, and if you left it alone
Of
for a
course I
week, the
did.
weeds would take over.
Right.
And so the weeds, I always said, if you could invent and we have a lot of NC State here, we have a lot of gene kind of people that work on splicing genes. I said, if you could splice a weed gene with a grass gene, that in other words, grass would grow even if it didn't rain, then and it would grow like crazy. No matter what you did, it would keep growing. Then they would have the best grass ever because that's what weeds do. There was one year we had a drought, 1997. I remember we were told by the county not to water our lawn. So I didn't. I was obeying the county. I didn't like watering anyway. I didn't like the water bill to begin with. But I figured out if I mowed the lawn I'm calling it the lawn. If I mowed the weeds every 5 days, they were nice and green. So it looked like a freshly cut lawn. And so I just kept mowing the weeds. But I mean, it's just amazing how many weeds pop up in your retirement plan you don't even see. And you might there's some weeds that look like real plants, just like there's the imitation ladybug out there. We saw them come into our office a couple of years ago. We got invaded by the imitation ladybug. Ladybugs are friendly. Those imitation ones have big mouths, and they bite all the good ladybugs and kill them. So again, you don't know what you have in your plan a lot of times because you don't recognize things like we do. We've like you, Mike. We've been in this financial arena. I've been here for 33 years. You've been
Yep.
here a long time too.
Yep.
We start to see things and recognize things. It's like going to a doctor who just started in medical. He just got out of medical school, so he just started practicing medicine. Or you go to a doc that's been there 20 some years who recognizes your symptoms without even having to get the book out or Google something. Which doctor would you want to go to? And then look at the financial world. We're the same kind of comparison.
Well, when you talk about weeds too, Coach Pete, weeds are persistent.
Yep.
And if you don't get them under control, they'll just take over everything.
They will.
And like in the financial world, by taking over everything, that means the possibility you running out of money, the
Yep.
possibility of not leaving something to your kids, the possibility that long-term care costs are going to, override everything you have. Weeds are, if I could be any type of grass as a person, right, I'd want to be a weed, right? Because I can grow anywhere. But like, no, we don't want those weeds like out in your portfolio, in your retirement plan and all that. We want to take care of all that stuff.
Okay, if you
So-
could come back as a plant in your next life, what would it be?
I mean, like an oak tree sounds pretty cool,
yeah?
right? They get to live
stay there?
150 stable, right? The
Yep.
weather comes. That'd be pretty cool, right? But I don't know, man. One of those, what is those those flying or those what are the ones that eat the anteaters or the
Venus flytrap.
Oh,
Venus
Venus
flytrap.
flytrap.
Thanks,
Yeah,
that's
that'd be
my
cool.
trap. Yeah.
That'd
Yep.
be cool. I had one of those. I had a pet one back in the day. You could buy
Those
them
are
in
also-
stores.
those
I felt- Good.
those Venus flytraps are like in pretty exotic places too. So
Yep.
that would be kind of cool.
Yep.
What would you be? What would
What
you
would
be, Pete?
I would like to be Kudzu. Kudzu just takes over everything. It's a Japanese vine that was brought back here to America back, I don't know, back in the 30s or 40s, probably after World War II, so the 40s. And they said it could control erosion because it was great. It had really good root system, and it would keep, like they planted on the side of roads to keep the dirt from coming into the road. It would stop erosion. But what they didn't know is it liked to travel. Like Thomas does. Thomas likes to travel,
Yep.
but it would take over trees. And what it does, it climbs all over a tree because it was trying to get the sunlight, and then the tree didn't get any sunlight and it dies. So it's a predator, but it's also a friendly predator because it's stopping erosion.
Imagine a vine that can grow 6 feet a day,
That's crazy, isn't it?
like
Wow.
fast.
It's like
in
Jack and the
summer.
Beanstalk kind of stuff here.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Holy
So
cow!
It's
yeah.
big down in Georgia. Yeah, yeah.
So we want to make sure that we have a good plan, folks. And yeah, and Thomas, you want your plan to be taking over everything, not dwindling and shrinking. So we always
Right.
want to expand our horizons, not decrease them. The oak tree would be fun. The only thing would just get boring standing there for 150 years.
It would. That's why I pinned it. That's why I went to Venus flytrap, right?
Now,
Because
That's a
I
good
want to
one.
be somewhere exotic. I want to see some things.
I know when
Right.
back in grade school, little kids started crying. I still remember this at Covington Street School in Laurinburg.
Yep.
We were under one of those big trees. I think it was an oak tree, and a kid got hit with it might have been a pecan tree. Anyway, a kid got hit with a nut. The tree decided to drop a nut on him. So that would be the fun thing as a tree, just drop a nut on people every now and then. I guess
Right.
that's fun stuff. Nothing else to do. Let's drop some nuts on somebody.
Right.
The tree was
Shout
saying.
out to Laurinburg on the Ideas by Mike podcast too. Hi, Mom. I just
Oh,
want you
love
to say hi.
Laurinburg. Love Laurinburg.
Yeah.
I used
from
to
the-
love to. When Dad would take us, we'd load up the car. This was how we did Christmas presents back in the day. We were poor. We'd get in the car, drive out to the country. Who knows where we were going? And there was no internet back then, so you couldn't find out what would happen to people that did this many times. Dad would just drive around till he saw a big piece of land on a farm or something with a bunch of pecan trees. We'd get out with our bags and fill them up like it was like we were looking for Easter eggs. And then Mom and Dad would package them up and give them as gifts on Christmas. Because people up north, where most of our family is, didn't really. We have walnuts up in Boston, but not pecans. So they loved the pecans. We had to tell them not to eat that red stuff, though. The red stuff inside the nut. Yeah, it was horrible. But I don't know what that was just a tangent. But that's what you do. You do what you got to do to survive. And you don't have to do those kind of things when you get to retirement if you have the right plan put together. You don't have to be like my
Right.
parents and I were doing, scrambling around to find Christmas presents under a pecan tree. We could have been chased by a farmer with a shotgun, didn't realize that.
or like my family did, like we had collard sandwiches as
Oh,
the-
collards.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was our and the reason we had collard sandwiches and that became the family business was because of because at the end of the day, right, cornmeal was cheap and collards grew in the ground freely.
Yeah.
So-
Yes. Yep. I grew asparagus when I had my garden, and a lot of people don't realize asparagus keeps coming. It just keeps
Oh.
coming. You cut them, the vines keep coming. And when you go to some restaurants, they give you these big, thick pieces of asparagus. It's the worst kind. You want the real thin ones. Those are the
Right.
real tender ones. So just
Yeah.
a Coach Pete asparagus advice.
That
Grow your
thanks,
own.
Coach Pete.
They
So
charge you a
many-
lot for asparagus. I think it's that good cheese sauce they put on holiday
That's
sauce.
so
they call
good.
it.
That's
Yes.
right. So good.
Well, guys, I
Anyway, it's a fun
appreciate
book, Mike. We started in 1909 and went all the way. We're gonna update it to 2025, maybe down the road. That's the beauty of being able to self-publish, is we can make the book bigger as we go along. So
Absolutely.
I can see it going to 2030, 2040, but it's always going to be 1909. We're not going to go any further back than that.
Man, I could see this book in stockings across America this year, right? People like giving them across. I could see them, and I'm going to walk into my doctor's next time, and there's going to be a book there. I mean, I
Mhm.
appreciate you guys coming on here. So, how do we? The last topic I just want to cover, right? Obviously, Gary helps me with the radio show, but the team at Broadcast Experts help them all, and I have a lot of advisors who watch my podcast also. How do they get involved with you guys if they wanted to produce a radio show?
Yeah, all they have to do is go to broadcastingexperts.com. Broadcastingexperts with a S.com, or go to coachpete.com, and then you can find my contact information there, and I'll get you in touch with the production team. We do shows for about 100 advisors nationwide right now. We have room for another 100. We've got a gigantic building here, 27,000 square feet, and we've got
Beautiful
tremendous
building.
studio space. And I recommend every advisor that we work with, and a lot of them take advantage of this, is welcome to come here and copy everything we have here. You can take pictures all you want and see how we run our business. But it's 3 stories, and it's we call it Coach Pete Land. So come visit us at Coach Pete Land.
If you're lucky, you may even get to visit Coach Pete's office and see all of the amazing crap. I mean, stuff he's actually accumulated.
Hey, I got new Breaking Bad guy here. What's his name? Walter White.
Yeah,
Bobblehead.
Walter White.
That's the
Walter
newest
White
edition.
bobblehead.
Yeah.
Was that in your McDonald's Happy Meal that you got the other day?
No, but I've always liked looking at him, and of course, I always got my bourbons here too.
Oh, always.
You're in
my
bourbon,
The
my bourbon group.
Dominator.
That's right, the Dominator.
The Dominator.
Yep, the Dominator.
Only available at Coach Pete Land.
That's right. Come
That's
have a swig with me.
Well,
Yeah,
guys,
there
this
you
is going to be
Good to see you,
be
man.
one of our last podcasts of 2025, and we thought we wanted to do this year right. First of all, I wanted to say on my podcast, thanks to Gary. Gary is just a pro, and like he is doing
thanks,
an
Mike.
amazing job on the One of a Kind financial show with me. So, Gary, we appreciate you, man. And there's a lot of people I'm saying thank you to for a great 2025. But you're one of those people, and I
Thank you.
wanted
That's
to- I
very
wanna
kind
thank
of you. I appreciate working with you. You're a lot of fun to work with. I enjoy our shows each week.
Yeah, and we've started getting a little more creative toward the end of the year, haven't we, Gary?
We have. We got some great segments. We've done some really fun segments the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right. We've done the Beatles segment. We did the Kmart Blue Light Special segment.
Well,
We
you used to
did.
push that around. I used to push the blue light card. It was funny. People would follow me around, and I'd have to divert them over here, and then I would just walk around the store until they announced it. I knew where I was going to women's underwear, but I was over in sporting goods on purpose.
Coach Pete, you'd have loved that segment because we compared the Blue Light Specials to like the fake financial advisors on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Oh,
Right.
they're everywhere
Mhm.
too, aren't they?
We did.
Everywhere.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
someone
yeah.
you can trust, folks. Get someone you depend on. Get someone that you just feel like they're going to help you, and that's the most important thing. There's too many phonies out there, but get the people that are really standing behind what they do, and that's Mike. We do a good job here as well.
That's right. They do a great job down there, guys. And that's the great thing about this too, right? They are a full service financial services firm, just like One Oak Financial is, right? And yet here we are on the same podcast as friends, right? Giving great value to our listeners. So until next time, guys, thanks for being on the show. For those that want to again connect with my team, go to oneoakfinancial.com. That's the number one oakfinancial.com. If you want to see more about what Coach Pete's doing, just go to coachpete.com. We don't have enough time left in this podcast to say everything that Pete is doing. So, guys,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you
Take
so
care,
much.
brother.
Mike.
Always good to
Thanks
talk to
a
you,
lot,
Mike.
Great to talk to you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today on the Ideas by Mike podcast. This has been Mike Milligan, your host, where I look to bring real world conversations with you of people changing the game in the financial planning, investment, and retirement income space. If you want to reach out to our firm to learn more, you can go to oneoakfinancial.com. That's the number one, oakfinancial.com. One Oak Financial is a nationwide firm here to help you build a one-of-a-kind financial plan for your one-of-a-kind life. CFP Board owns the marks CFP, Certified Financial Planner, and CFP in the United States. As a reminder, Mike Milligan, Certified Financial Planner, is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. All opinions expressed by me or our guests are solely our own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only. It should not be relied on for investment, tax, or legal decisions, and it's in no way intended to communicate or guarantee specific performance or suitability of any security instrument or product, as we may have discussed. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance is offered through Ideas by Mike, a Virginia-based LLC, here to serve you in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Ideas by Mike is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal issues may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making a decision relative to those decisions. Any and all statements of purported or observed general practices of non-affiliated firms and advisors or conditions of the broad financial services industry are solely the opinions of Mike and are not intended to be offered as factual. The validity of these statements has not been verified, and as such, no representation of their validity are made. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. This podcast is produced in conjunction with Mike Milligan, LLC. Thank you again for joining us today. We'll see you on the next podcast. In your